Good morning. It is the Big Joe and Laura show here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix, welcoming you to Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. I'm glad that everybody didn't lose power or anything, but where were the storms? I thought we were going to have a thing of severe weather coming through. I was getting excited. I was like, I'm going to fall asleep to a thunderstorm.
I guess I didn't realize that there was going to be a storm, and then you kept talking about it, and I kept looking for it all over the news, and I could only find one person that was even mentioning the bad weather, but the winds this morning have been insane. So I would imagine if you're one of those people that has the trash day today, make sure that your trash can doesn't roll down the street, because to be honest, it's kind of one of those mornings.
There it goes. Bye.
Adios.
This is something that I saw, and I said, is this a good idea or this is a bad idea? As far as I know, it's not in the U.S. yet, but what if it came here? Did you see that over in France, they're going to have some scratch and sniff postage stamps?
Why?
I guess they're just doing it as kind of a novelty thing, but they're going to, any guess what they might have it be? What would they scratch over in France that would smell like something? What do you think they'd pick?
I don't know. Bakery things?
Yeah, close. A baguette. They're saying if you do it.
Baguettes don't have a smell. What would it smell like?
I would like if they could make it smell like a buttery croissant.
Again, that's barely a smell. If you were to give me
a hot buttery one.
If you wanted to give me wax cubes that were Scentsy and you said they were buttered croissant, I'd be like, just spray air into my room. That doesn't smell like anything hardly.
I feel like if here in America, if the United States Postal Service is going to keep on, it seems like all the time going up more and more with the stamp.
Yeah,
we got to add some smells to these. Good smells though.
No, I hate scratch and sniff stuff. What? No, I hate it. I hate the scented markers. All of it gives me a headache. I do not want scented things. But okay, fine. We'll play devil's advocate here. If you do like scented stuff, what would you want an American scent to smell like or stamp? And if you say a hot dog, I'm gonna scream.
Oh no, I would never say just a hot dog.
What?
I'd say a coney dog.
Oh, gross! Stop. No one wants a coney dog scented stamp.
Okay, what about maybe it smells like Verner's? That's a great smell when you put it up, like the drink to your mouth.
Yeah, but that's not like an American scent. That's like a Michigan scent. If you're having a Michigan stamp, yes. But I think most of America does not have Verner's. So American, what's an American scent?
Okay, if we're gonna do the entire country and not just Michigan, what represents the good old US of A? By the way, if you want to add to this, you could DM us the Mix 95.7 app. I would say that it would have to be something to the maybe. It's hard when you narrow it down to a country. I don't know, because what is America known for? Let me throw it back on you.
Okay, well then I got one, a charcoal grill.
Okay, so like barbecue kind of?
Yeah, but I wouldn't want any of the meat smells, so I would do the grill, because the charcoal grill smells really good when it's burning. Or I don't know, I would do something like apple pie, because it's as American as apple pie, and that's a scent that I can understand why you'd like it on a stamp.
Now, okay, I'll take that. I would much rather have an apple pie over a baguette. Why aren't French fries from France? Why can't they have, instead of a baguette, fries?
They call them pommes frites there, but yeah, I guess they could technically, but it's just fried potato. Again, not a scent. Yes, these things have scents, but it's not like, oh man, that smell of buttery croissant sure gets me going. That's not a scent I can even acknowledge in my brain right now. So, I don't know, France, you got a flower or something, right? Is there a flower in France?
I don't know, but these are the things that keep me up night if you're wondering, okay?
It's time for Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
Tonight, the Griffins are at home for Game 3 of the Central Division Finals against the Milwaukee Admirals. The series is tied up at 1 game apiece, with the puck dropping at 7 o'clock tonight. Now, if you're going to the game, you can take advantage of $2 dogs and $2 beers as you cheer on the team. Yes, that is me taking advantage of both of those.
Grand Haven State Park is one of the most popular beaches in Michigan, and up until now, they used flags to tell people what the water conditions were. You may have seen those, green, yellow, and red ones. Well, that's changed. Now they have installed 8 towers with colored lights that kind of look sort of like a stoplight, and they'll advise swimmers of potential risks. They allowed them to change the flag status a lot faster, because they don't have to go from flag to flag to flag. So they're changing them. They could just change the light. And the cool thing about the light pole, it also comes with a life ring attached that if you grab it, say someone's in an emergency, it will automatically call 911 if anyone deploys it. So I think this is super cool, and can't wait to see this in more parks around Lake Michigan.
Love the idea. I just hope people actually pay attention to that. It always amazes me when you see those flags and the conditions, people are like, oh, I think I can go in. No, you can't. And for your final need-to-know news story, we're heading to New Jersey, where a high school student named Jake Portello got Bryce Harper from the Philadelphia Phillies to go to his girlfriend's home and ask her to prom.
Hi, Julia. I'm going to prom. How's it going? Jake wants to ask you to prom, so I thought I'd help him out. So will you go to prom with him?
Yes!
Awesome. There you go. You got it.
Somebody needs to do that with the Lions. If we get Jared Goff over there or Coach Dan Campbell, hey, he wants to go to prom with you. That's Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7. It is Big Joe and Laura and you here on Mix 95.7. Be part of the show anytime. Call us 616-600-0957.
Yeah, I went on 2 flights this weekend. I made the terrible, awful mistake of booking a flight with Frontier this weekend.
Was Spirit not available?
God, I mean, I wasn't expecting these things to happen. Now, on the first flight on the way to Georgia, everything went pretty smoothly. We were like an hour late leaving, which you expect with those airlines because they've never once been on time in their entire existence.
But that's even frustrating in itself. You could miss a connection flight.
Yeah, thankfully we were flying direct, so it wasn't a big deal. But about halfway through, the flight attendant was like, hey, if you don't stop vaping, I'm going to call the cops. She went over the big speaker, says this, and then like nothing happens. Everybody's quiet. And then at the end of the flight, we land. We get starting to taxi up to the terminal, all that stuff. And then she's like, all right, well, we're all going to have to wait on the plane because the authorities are waiting at the gate because somebody wouldn't stop vaping. And they legitimately got this guy, pulled him off the plane, gave him to the police, all this stuff, all over a vape. Listen, I know you're not supposed to do it, but I was like, come on, A, why are you this dumb? And B, they warned you and you still did it again? How stupid are you? So yeah, that one was bad. It was annoying. It wasn't as bad as the trip back though. So we get to the airline. We almost miss our flight because James read the app wrong and we thought we had a delay. And so we went through TSA twice. Not fun. Don't recommend it. So we're already frustrated by the time we get to the gate. Then they're like, hey, we're all getting on the plane. Everything's good to go. The flight's maybe 5-10 minutes late. We get on the plane. They sat us on the plane for almost 2 hours without moving. We didn't leave the terminal. They took the little gate away and closed the doors, but we weren't going anywhere. And it was all because of a maintenance issue. There was some sort of paperwork issue where basically like someone didn't sign something right. So they had to like pass things through a window and blah, blah, blah. And this took so long that a woman on the flight had a panic attack causing a medical emergency, which made us all have to deplane while they figured out A, the paperwork, B, this woman who's hyperventilating into a bag behind us because she's trapped on the plane. And then they sat us out in the lobby, which had no seats left because the next flight was there plus another flight across the way. And they're like, we can't tell you when the flight's going to leave, so don't go very far away, but also don't stand here. And so finally, 6.5 hours later, we're on our way. I mean, I was supposed to be back in Grand Rapids by the time we landed in Chicago. I didn't get to Michigan until midnight. I didn't get home till the next day because I couldn't drive any further. So surely I'm not the only one who's had one of these traumatizing airport or plane experiences. Would love to hear yours. 616-600-0957. Joe, has anything like this ever happened to you, or am I a magnet of bad luck in this scenario?
I think you're definitely a magnet of bad luck. Only thing I can think of recent was not in the air, but on the ground. Lindsay and I were heading to Evansville, Indiana for a friend's wedding. It's like 7 hours south of GR. And along the way, we're heading down. I see, wow, that minivan is like slamming their brakes on and pulling over. I wonder if they had a flat tire. Nope. This dude jumps out from the passenger side, pops a squat. You could see his butt cheeks. They were bright white. And I guess he had to go to the bathroom like an emergency, but he popped a squat and went right on the side of the highway.
Oh, no.
I think we've all been there where it's like, I gotta make it. Well, this guy couldn't. What is the craziest thing you've seen while traveling, whether it's by air, by sea, by land? We want to know. 616-600-0957. It is the Big Joe and Laura show on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. You know what? We're lucky just to have Laura in studio today after her travel nightmare she had the other day.
Yeah, I missed work yesterday. Did not mean to, but sometimes things happen, all because of a crazy travel nightmare. On the way to my destination, we had a guy get arrested for vaping. On the way back, basically some paperwork caused us to have a 6-hour delay, also impacted by a woman who had a panic attack because we were stuck on the plane so long. And I swear this is Frontier energy, but Kim actually DM'd us in the Mix 95.7 app and says this is not a normal experience with Frontier. I want to know what kind of luck Kim has because she is the first person I've ever heard have a positive experience with this airline.
Did you check maybe her profile? She works there.
Well, if she did, she almost convinced me that it was believable. But we want to hear from you. What was your travel nightmare? You can give us a call, 616-600-0957, or you can send us a DM in the Mix 95.7 app, like Charlotte in Grand Rapids, who said, when I was a teenager, I sat in an aisle seat. The guy in the opposite aisle seat right next to me was legit barfing into an entire garbage bag the entire flight.
I got to imagine barf smells even worse at 30,000 feet in the air.
I've been there in that scenario where someone someone did near me, not nearly that close. And yeah, it's the worst because all that air is just circulating in the plane. And if you're one of those people like me that if you just smell it, you get a little nauseous, not a great combination.
No, I could totally see that one.
Katie in Grand Rapids, what was your travel nightmare?
So we were flying on a class trip and back in the late 90s and flying Houston to Mexico City. And there was some commotion on the plane and there was a guy that was trying to open the emergency exit.
Oh, no.
The kicker part was it was American Airlines, which I still fly to this day, but they did not have anybody that spoke Spanish, the flight attendants. So our Spanish teacher and her husband were helping translate with the situation. And when we arrived in Mexico City, the authorities were there, but the guy was just let go and off he went.
So, I mean, since you got firsthand information on the translating, was he just confused or just absolutely like unhinged?
I will say this is a bunch of high school kids, so they were far enough ahead, so I didn't hear what was going on, but just something he just wanted to get off the plane. That was not the way to get off the plane.
No, that is not the appropriate time. It will not end well, sir.
Katie, I'm surprised you ever got on a plane again after that.
No kidding.
I was fine for a very long time after that, but now I don't like flying that much anymore.
Julie in Holland, what was the crazy thing you saw while traveling?
We had 8 of us in St. Thomas. We were leaving that day and the plane kept getting delayed. So all of us kept getting text messages that the plane was being delayed another half hour, an hour. When we finally got to the airport, because the flight was supposed to leave at 11 o'clock at night, we got to the airport at 7 and the airport closed. They shut down TSA at 6. So we're all standing there like, are we being punked?
Oh,
The
no.
hole where you check in was all dark. And we're like, we've got a flight. And they're like, well, you should have been here. And we're like,
What?
You send us text messages every half hour. Flight's delayed, flight's delayed, flight's delayed. Well, we should have gone.
Julie, what ended up happening then?
They basically just said to us, well, you're going to be on a wait list and we'll get you out by Thursday. And that was Saturday.
Oh my gosh, so what did you do when you had all that time?
So all 8 of us had to go back on Sunday to wait in the airport for standby. We got 2 people out on Sunday. We got 2 people out on Monday. We got 2 people out on Tuesday. We had to go back to the condo that we had rented, and it was a disaster. I didn't know an airport could close.
Yeah, I didn't either, and I can't believe that they couldn't accommodate you on top of it. So, like, you're playing who gets to go next and slowly losing parts of your party. Who decided? Did you
Yeah.
draw straws to see who got to go home first,
Yeah.
or was it based on need?
Well, we had to be strategic about it because one of our cars was in Detroit. One of our cars was in Chicago. One of our kids had to go back to Chicago. So we just had to be strategic about like who was going where and who was going to be able to come back and pick someone up later. That was the biggest nightmare ever.
Big Joe's Little Wins happening right now on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. It's really simple. Call us at 616-600-0957. Or if you want, you can DM us or send us a voice memo in the Mix 95.7 app. We're looking for those little wins, the good things that we can celebrate and cheer you on with. This is going to seem so silly, but I'll tell you right now, it has been a problem in our house, and I finally tackled it. We had the stinkiest of stink fridges. You know, like at work sometimes, where people would just leave food and it would get so you open the door, it permeates everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, I took everything out, cleaned everything. Boy, there were some stank vegetables. Broccoli, I'll tell you now, broccoli, I love you, but I hate you.
Well, I mean, if you eat it in time, it's not that bad.
Well, you obviously know I did not because it was stanking, but we got rid of that. Lindsay was happy, and I'll take that as a win. What about you, Laura? What's going on?
The little dude only woke me up one time last night. Granted, it was for an hour and a half straight, but, we'll take the one victory that at least he didn't wake me up again at 3 a.m. So, you win some, you lose some, and sometimes you just call it even.
Do you prefer 1.5 hour session or 3 30 minutes?
I would rather have 30 minutes every time. I'm going to be
really?
fully honest. The hour and a half last night, we were both yelling at each other by the end of it. It was not a great time for anyone involved, and I probably owe him a tiny apology this morning, but we made it through, and he slept through the night otherwise, so there's something.
616-600-0957. You can share your little win with us. You can also DM or send a voice message. Let's say good morning to Anna in Wyoming. Hey, what's your little win?
Guys, I got a new job after years of being miserable at this job that I was at, the worst hours. I finally got my dream job.
Yay! Not to the terrible job, but a new one. Woo!
So what are you doing now?
I am working as an admin at a school district.
Ooh, okay, so you get to help kiddos, but without being a teacher and being in the trenches. Honestly, that feels like the right place to be inside a school.
Yeah, it is. I used to work at a grocery store, and it just was taking, obviously, time away from my kids, from my husband, and it just was mentally draining and physically draining, and I just felt like I could do more in this world.
That is so cool, Anna. We are so excited for you and your little win, although this feels kind of like a big win in my opinion, because if you're getting out of a job you hate, that is the biggest win you could possibly have.
Thank you, guys. I love you guys so much. I love listening to you every morning. You just make my day.
Well, that's what I was going to wonder. It's like this new job doesn't affect you getting to hear us, right?
Yeah, you're still hanging out with us, right?
No.
Good.
No, I'll be listening to you on my way to work.
Well, we
Good.
love it. Anna in Wyoming, thanks for being part of Big Joe's Little Wins.
Thank you, guys.
We'd love for you to be just like Anna in Wyoming and give us a call with your little win. 616-600-0957. That's 616-600-0957. Or if you prefer, you can send a DM or a voice memo right now in our Mix 95.7 app. What did your kid get stuck? They put something where it did not belong, and hopefully you were able to get it out. If not, maybe you called in the pros. We're Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. The reason I'm asking this question today, Laura, is that over the weekend, we had a birthday party for my niece, Madison. She is 1 year old, so congrats to her. It was so fun, and she didn't do this, but my niece Had's a little bit older, on accident, stuck a baseball into a pool table. Now, let me explain, because at first it's like, what is wrong with this? I guess at her grandpa's house, they have a pool table, but a kind where they have the pockets there. I don't know if it's like weaving or leather. Like it goes there. It doesn't go underneath. A lot of times you go to bars, they have it where they all go inside. You have to put money in and it kind of comes on out through tubes and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between those. So she didn't notice or didn't know. So she just thought it'd be kind of fun to roll it and put it in, and it went in the hole. And she's like, where did it go?
Okay, here's my dumb question. Where did she get a baseball?
I guess somebody brought it for one of the kids to play with.
Okay, I was like, you're at a pool hall. Where'd the baseball come into the? I mean, kids have things everywhere. I shouldn't even ask that question. Obviously, it's just because she had it.
So when the thing I appreciate, because I don't think a lot of kids would have done this, she actually said, hey, I put the ball in there and it's not coming out. So she actually said something compared to like leaving. Then later on, Diamond Hall's like, what?
Oh,
So
yeah.
We ended up trying to figure out, well, how are we going to get this thing out of here? Because do you know how much these pool tables cost? They're like $2,000 to $5,000.
Uh-oh.
It is insane. So we tried. My brother-in-law, Andy, who's just a gentle giant. He's like 7 feet tall. We tried shaking it. We tried lifting it. And we heard stuff moving around, but it all kind of funnels together underneath the bottom, and we couldn't do it. So eventually we tried to MacGyver it. We go underneath, and Andy is able to find a way to open it up and get some to come out, like the balls, but that baseball is still stuck. We're like, son of a... And I don't know where this came from. Probably all the endless hours of me watching social media videos. I'm like, wait a minute, suction. I'm like, you guys have a shop vac here? So they run in the back, they grab a shop vac, and we just start trying to work around this hose, like just sucking it up. And it worked. We got it out. The rest of the balls came. He was able to lock up the bottom, and oh, thank God. Because what do you do? We'd have to pay for that out of pocket.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, that's the right thing to do. It's like, I don't know if they would have actually made you do it, because it's like some businesses are just nice. But yeah, that's insane.
Or they would have kicked us. We're members of Diamond Hall. They would have kicked. They had to go to kick this out.
No,
I'm
you're
like,
paying double membership fees next
yeah,
year.
you're gonna have to double it up, buddy. So that got me just wondering and thinking. I feel like somebody else out there has had a situation where either they did it when they were younger, or maybe it is actually your kids done it. They stuck something into something it did not belong. They just were being curious. They didn't know. And I'd love to hear those stories from you. 616-600-0957. That's 616-600-0957. Hey, thanks for hanging out with the Big Joe and Laura show here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. If you're just joining us, we are talking about my niece Hads. I love her to death, and I'm glad that she was honest, but she accidentally stuck kind of a baseball into a pool table when we were at my niece's birthday party this past weekend at Diamond Hall. We just were holding it there, and she thought, because of her grandpa's house, they have a pool table where you're able to, put it in the pocket and then pull it right out. These are the kind, though, like at a bar or at this place, Diamond Hall, where it all goes together and meets in the middle in the center, and you have to put money into play. So it got stuck. We, thank God, were able to get it out with like a shop vac. We took the bottom out, just like, By the way, I got to work on my vacuum sound effects. But we would love to know, 616-600-0957, what did your kid get stuck?
We got Rhonda on the line. Rhonda, what did your kid get stuck?
Well, actually, I'm not sure if this counts, but she got her head stuck. The railings that are on, I guess, porches or whatever that go up and down.
Oh,
The little
okay.
metal railings. She was chasing bubbles. She was 4 years old, and she got her head stuck between those.
Oh, gosh. How did that unfold? Did you, were you able to get her out? I feel like you might have to call the fire department. What happened?
Well, Dad reacted, I guess, with adrenaline and pried those bad boys apart.
Dang.
But yeah, I don't know how because her head didn't fit between the railings.
It's always amazing how you can get into something, but you can't get out.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad everybody's okay. Thank you for the call. We actually have this up on our Mix 95.7 GR Facebook page and Big Joe and Laura. If you want to go ahead and tell us a story about how you or your kid got something stuck in something.
It's time for Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
Ground was broken yesterday on the new Acrisure Amphitheater in Grand Rapids. Construction of the 12,000-seat amphitheater is going to take probably about 2 years. Here's Mayor Bliss talking about how much this is going to add to downtown Grand Rapids.
With the work that's going to happen along the river's edge and the connection of the trails, and there will be green space, it's going to add this incredible public space in the heart of our downtown.
I'm really excited to see what this looks like a couple of years from now.
Yeah, the pictures look great. I really hope that it is as nice as they say it's going to be, and I'm excited to see some bigger acts coming to Grand Rapids eventually. If you're planning to take the Mackinac Bridge this weekend, I would say avoid it, but obviously you can't really.
Swim!
I know, because the Mackinac Bridge Authority is warning drivers that construction will delay and cause some slowdowns throughout this holiday weekend. There's a construction project that's been going on it since March. It was supposed to end tomorrow, and they're like, oops, we're not going to be done in time, which is the worst thing you could possibly hear. I read that the bridge is down to one lane in both directions, which means that tons of traffic backups probably going to happen because it takes a while to get that many cars down to one lane across that big of a bridge.
I just think of our good coworker, Wendy, who is actually from the UP. I don't know if she's going there or not this weekend, but she is terrified already as it is to cross that bridge.
Yeah, there's no way you're getting me on it. I agree with Wendy on this one. No, thank you. I'm happy they're fixing it. Good luck, Godspeed, and definitely give yourself, I don't know, an extra hour or so of travel time because you're probably going to need it.
And from the Mackinac Bridge, we head to Detroit for your final Need to Know news story, where a firefighter was arrested after he assaulted another firefighter. Laura, they were battling a fire at the time.
Oh, no.
Listen to this news reporter, though, covering the story, and I want you to count how many times they use the word fire. It kind of seems like a lot.
Detroit firefighters, known as some of the best in the business at fighting fires, not fighting each other while also fighting fires. Detroit fire crews arrived quickly to a significant fire inside this home, and the firefighters got right to work. Something went wrong with a firefighter who comes from a Detroit firefighter family, where he allegedly assaulted a fellow firefighter as they're fighting the fire, to the point where the chief on the fire scene had to call Detroit police for help. We are told in his fire gear and all, officers arrested that firefighter and took him to the Detroit Detention Center.
Did you keep count? The total was 13 times in those 30 seconds.
Wow.
I feel it's like one of those people where they drop in words like for Taylor Swift just to say it. I'm like, okay, buddy, we get it. There was a fire. That's Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
It's time to play Laura Can't Lose on Mix 95.7. Here's how it happens. You'll have 1 minute to answer 5 questions. You can pass if you need to, and we'll come back if time allows. A tie goes to Laura because, well, her name's on the show. Here's who's playing Laura Can't Lose today.
Welcome back for the second day in a row. Representing Grand Rapids, we have Tina.
Good morning, Tina. How are you?
Hi, guys. Great. How are you?
Oh, I love your optimism. I can tell you're a third grade teacher because you're so positive and nice all the time.
It makes sense, too, for you to listen to the show. We're about a third grade level.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
All right,
Here's hoping I do well.
Yeah,
I think you'll do great, Tina. You did great yesterday. You tied me 4-4, so let's see how today goes.
Go ahead and kick Laura out of the studio.
All right. See you later.
All right, when that door closes, question 1 will come your way. If you break a mirror, how many years of bad luck will you have?
Ooh, is it 7?
Question 2, what year was Taylor Swift born?
1989.
Question 3. What part of the human body is responsible for getting rid of harmful toxins?
Oh, your kidney?
Question 4. What kind of animal was Abu in Aladdin?
Monkey?
Question 5. What central mountain range runs from Maine down to Alabama?
Appalachian Mountains.
Okay, I'm going to bring Laura in.
Laura! La, 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 Laura!
Okay, Laura, you have a chance today to win. Tina got 4 again. That seems to be her number. Maybe she should teach the 4th grade.
Okay.
So 4 to tie, 5 to get a W.
Let's see if I can do it again today.
Question 1. If you break a mirror, how many years of bad luck will you have?
7.
That's correct. It makes sense. I broke a couple of mirrors when I was younger, and life's never been the same. 1-1 going into question 2. What year was Taylor Swift born?
1989. I only know because of the album.
Correct. 2-2.
Right? Yep, me too.
Going into question 3, what part of the human body is responsible for getting rid of harmful toxins?
I feel like there's 2 answers to that. I'm going to say you're probably saying my kidneys, right?
You both said that, and I was looking for the liver.
That was the other option I had because they
Oh,
both
shoot.
do that technically.
So you both got that wrong in my book.
That's okay. We both got a half point. I'm giving us both half points,
Okay,
Tina.
well,
I'm
it's-
overriding
Okay, at
him.
least we were thinking the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's, I guess, 2.5 to 2.5 going into question 4. What kind of animal was Abu in Aladdin?
He was a monkey.
That is correct. 3.5 points going into question 5. What central mountain range runs from Maine down to Alabama?
I'm going to say it properly because no one else does. It's the Appalachian Mountains.
I will take it no matter how you say it.
I'm from there. It's the Appalachian Mountains. Thank you. You people in your Appalachia can go on with it.
Your Appalachian showing. That is correct, and we have a tie game today, 4.5 to 4.5, which means, Tina, you want to come back again?
Yes.
Heck yeah, let's go. Technology is great, but sometimes you wish you could do it old school. Hey, we're Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. And recently, I shared the weird audio that the camera I got for my baby shower makes. Here it is in case you missed it.
That's not right. That's a baby camera?
Yeah, it makes that noise if it's not connected properly. And after a lot of research, I decided I'm not going to replace that baby camera, and instead, I'm going to give up on baby cameras entirely. I'm normally one of those people that's like an early adopter of all technology. Like I got the iPhone when it first came out, and I currently have the newest one. My car has a billion bells and whistles, including like wireless chargers and eye things that make sure I'm looking at the road and all this crazy stuff. I love technology. However, I am not getting a new baby camera because I've been scared out of it between all the horror stories I've seen on TikTok and Instagram about people hacking into them and like talking to your baby while you're not in the room, which freaks me out.
You don't want your baby to be alone, do you?
Oh, God. Oh, I hate it so much. And just the fact that I had such a bad experience starting out with the monitor because it has a billion stupid little features where it like dings at me constantly, keeps me up all night. I said enough with all of it. I went old school and I got a audio baby monitor, like one of those two-way walkie-talkie things that we had when we were kids.
Where'd you get it? Like a garage sale? How do you find those?
Brand new one at Walmart. I bought
Really?
it. Yeah, I bought it at the Walmart over in Cascade. They still sell them, and this one actually is kind of cool because it tells you the temperature of the baby's room, and it has like a sound meter on the top. So if they're not making a lot of noise, it's green, but then if they're like screaming, it goes all the way to red. So you can kind of gauge if it's really a big noise or a little noise. And I honestly am so much more relieved, and everybody slept better last night because of this thing versus the expensive camera that's supposed to tell me whether or not he's alive or not. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. So maybe I'm not the only one who goes old school with certain things, even though you may love new technology. I want to know, what do you prefer to do the old school way? I would love to hear from you at 616-600-0957, or you can send us a DM in the Mix 95.7 app. Joe, do you have anything that you personally prefer to do the old way versus some new fancy way?
Yeah, it's a modern technology, and Laura, I'm calling you out on this one just because you're one of the people of many that don't like doing this with me.
Yeah.
Talking on the phone.
Oh, I hate it.
So I knew it. I told you I was coming at you. No, it's just I'm that person. I was talking to Aaron in Age Management of West Michigan the other day, too. That's a guy I see there. Yeah, I like having a conversation on the phone. Yeah, I'll text sometimes. I don't mind that. But there's just something about being engaged, talking to somebody. I'm not saying you have to even hold it up to your phone. You could put in your earpieces or you could speakerphone it. It doesn't matter. Just chat with me on the phone, dude.
I appreciate that. However, I think I pay more attention when I can actually read what you're saying than when I zone in and out of you on a phone conversation. So I would argue I'm more engaged when I'm texting you than when you're talking to me because I'm not going to go, duh, and completely lose what you're talking about.
You know what happens to my phone when I try to call Laura? Every single time I try to call her.
So what do you like to do old school? 616-600-0957.
We're Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix.
I want to know, what do you prefer to do the old school way? Recently, I decided to do audio monitors instead of the baby monitors because my camera makes terrible noises that really stress me out.
I don't think this is a terrible noise. That sounds really nice. It's calming.
The apocalypse is happening in my baby's room. So I want to know, what thing do you prefer to do the old school way? You can always give us a call at 616-600-0957. Melanie in Colorville, what do you prefer to do the old school way?
I honestly prefer to cook fried chicken the old school way, like the way my family did in the South.
Ooh, you already got me when you said the South.
That's the healthy way, right? That's how you do it healthy down
Laura, there? I forgot. You will love this. My family's from Kentucky.
Oh, okay. What part?
Pikeville, Elkhorn City, over on the eastern side.
Yep. Pikeville, as they say it, is about 2 hours away from where I'm from. I'm from outside of Lexington, so I'm from like the central part of the state. But listen, they cook well in Pikeville. So what do you do for your fried chicken?
I've noticed, like my former brother-in-law dipped his chicken in egg and then flour. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't do that. My mama, as we called her, my grandmother, she would always just put a little bit of flour, she called it.
Flour, yeah.
Yep, flour on it, and then she would season it with just seasoning salt and pepper, and then she would put it, she'd call it swimming. She would fill up her cast iron skillet with some oil, and she always had to use a vegetable oil.
Yep.
It was never anything else, and it would just, she always had a big iron pan, and she would say, you need to give it room to swim.
Yep.
They can't be touching.
Nothing about that sounds strange to me at all. That is exactly how you make fried chicken. Your brother is unhinged for the other way. I respect that that's like a traditional way to fry things, but that's not how you make chicken.
Now I'm going to have to go to a restaurant because I love fried chicken or chicken and waffles. But like, excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma'am. Is there room for that chicken to swim in there? I mean, how are we cooking it?
Yep, that's exactly how they do it in the South. And I tell you, I had bariatric surgery, so I'm not supposed to have stuff like that because it makes me sick, but every now and then I have to.
Melanie, we're going to have you back on the show with Laura, and we can have like a Southern word of the week or something.
There we go.
Right. When I found out she was from Kentucky, I'm like, my heart.
It's one of us. No.
Yes, I'm like, yay.
Samantha in Grand Rapids, what do you prefer to do the old school way?
Math.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. I'm so nervous about when my little guy's in school because I've seen the Common Core stuff and I do not understand it. And I don't know that I ever will figure it out.
I have 3 children and doing it with them is just awful. I make my husband do it.
Obviously, all of us learned a certain way, and they're teaching the kids this way that they say is better. They're experts. I'm not. I don't know if it is or not. But how do you as a parent learn how to do that kind of math? Or do you just have to wing it based on their worksheets? Like, do they give you any sort of instruction?
Well, my oldest daughter's in 8th grade, so we've been doing it for a couple of years now. And we look through her book and try and figure it out. And I've even looked on YouTube to like find videos. And then I said, I'm not doing this. And I make my husband do it. And I do other subjects with her.
Samantha, you're my spirit animal because that's exactly how it would be.
Are you listening, James? Get ready. You better start studying.
I was bad at math when it was easy. And then you throw me a curveball? No way.
It's awful. And I'm like, just do it this way. And they're like, that's not how you do it. And I'm like, you know what? You get the same answer and this makes sense. So do it this way.
Laura's the queen at finger math. She's like 1, 2, 3,
4. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why we have fingers and toes.
Exactly. If it goes above the number of 20, I'm not interested.